watching The High Road with me, Keith Warren, brought to you by Timber Creek Outdoors. Welcome to Hunting and Outdoor Adventures and to the Indian Creek Ranch in South Texas, where this week we'll be guests of ranch owners Buddy and Nancy Jordan on a hunt that's put on by the Texas Wildlife Association's youth hunting program. The hunt master for this particular hunt is my stepmother, Betty Warren.
It is an invaluable program. It teaches kids to appreciate the outdoors in ways that they could never get it anywhere else. In order to be part of this program, kids between the ages of 9 and 17 must have not only a license, but a Hunter Ed certificate. They must have taken their class and be able to show that they have successfully completed the course.
You may remember last year when we went along on a Texas youth hunt right here at the same ranch. And on that hunt, one of the youngsters that showed up did not have his certificate.
This is my second youth hunt, and my first youth hunt I couldn't hunt because I had a mix-up with my hunter safety.
I wanted to make sure that this didn't happen again, so several months earlier, I invited this year's participants to the Seguin, Texas Outdoor Learning Center. This nonprofit outdoors educational facility would provide the backdrop for the kids and their adult sponsors to get certified in the Texas Hunter Safety Program. In addition to my kids, Maddie and Colton, we're also joined by my friend Gus Fernandez and his daughter Bree, James Kleinfelder and his daughter Kelby, our website forum administrator Roger Bales and his grandson Tyler, Brandon Woods and his father Jim, along with some other sponsors and kids who are all here to take the course.
Hunter safety and hunter education, the terms are really synonymous. What we're trying to do is just convey safety through hunter education. Your basic hunter education instructor is a volunteer. These volunteers have gone through the basic structured course, the same as we're doing here today, and then they go through another day and a half preparation. Get them better prepared for giving and preparing the courses to give to the students. We have students that range anywhere from ages 10 all the way up through 82. We've had grandparents in the classes. We don't certify students unless they're at least 12 years of age. Anyone born after September the 2nd, 1971 is required to take the hunter education course and successfully complete it so that they can legally hunt in the state of Texas. Now the course is open to anyone at any age. Anyone under 12 years of age will get a certificate from the state certifying that they had been through the class, but then once they turn 12 years of age, they need to come back through the class and actually get their certification to legally hunt alone in the state. Well, we always encourage our parents, grandparents to come through, sit through the class, even if they can't stay the entire time. We like to have them sit and learn with their children or grandchildren. And we certainly don't discourage anyone from coming and just sitting through the class, whether they want to physically take it or not. We do have two ways of taking the hunter education course. We do have the basic, which is the day and a half or minimum 10-hour required by state law over a 2-day period for students to come and actually get hands-on training. They actually go through the day-to-day type scenarios of hunting incidences, hunting practices, and of course the safety, the ethics, and the written laws. We also have the online, where you can get a computer, go online through the Texas Parks and Wildlife website. You can take the course. That course will give you credit for about 6 hours of the class. Then you have to come back, meet up with an instructor, and go through the last 4 hours, which will give you the hands-on, the firing range, and the skills trail type aptitude testing. We're not required in these particular courses to actually do a hands-on live fire exercise. A lot of times the courses are taught at facilities where we don't have a range, we don't have an area where we could set up a skills trail. But it's really going through the material, going through the book, and doing some basic hands-on indoor type without live fire exercises. So the difference here today is that we actually have a facility where we can utilize this facility 100% and go through the entire course. Well, hunter education and hunter safety, we're proud to say that those students that attend these classes, statistics have proven that they are less likely to become involved in any sort of hunting-related accident. So we take great pride in that, and that's one of the reasons that we like to get out here and train the students. Give them something more that they can take back to their families and friends and share that information and make it a lot safer place for all of us.
We'll have more information about the Texas Hunters Education Program later in the show. When we return, we'll get this youth hunt started.
This hunt is being held at the Indian Creek Ranch in South Texas with the gracious gift from Nancy and Buddy Jordan, the landowners. The kids are hunting from elevated stands. In South Texas, it's necessary. The brush is so thick you cannot see inside. The animals can move all over the place. And so we have clearings, senderos. It is a full weekend of activities. In the afternoon, we divide into teams, and there's 3 different skill areas that we like to cover. They actually have one that's called a skills trail. The hunter ed instructor placed out animals where the kids come through and they have to be able to identify if they would shoot whatever it is they see. The other aspect is a blood trail. We have fluid that looks like blood. It is put out where they have to go through and as a team track an animal. And then the third area is the shooting course. So even if they didn't do any shooting that morning, they still get to use their firearm. We actually have a little competition thrown in. So they have to aim at a certain target, and then we see who's closest to the mark. And it is a deer target, so it's reality.
Now we're going to join our first hunter, Kelby Kleinfelder, and her father, James.
We're here this weekend having a great time with our kids. It's a great opportunity to be out with our daughters, harvest some game in a way that is unlike any other. We got here through an invite by Keith Warren. He called me early in the spring and asked if I'd be interested in bringing my daughter out here, and I tell you, it didn't take me too long to answer yes, and we were out here. We're excited to be here. I've hunted with my son since he was little, but being with your daughter, it's just an incredible experience. She harvested her first doe last year on a lease that we have out of Fredericksburg. So this is our second time, but this seems, I don't know, this was a little more special today. Just being on a place like this and being able to see the game that we saw today. We weren't in the blind probably 10 minutes when we started seeing animals. We had a couple 8-pointers and a 9-pointer and several does. We saw hogs, we saw javelina, we saw a real nice buck. We never could make out exactly how many points it was, but you could tell by the mass and the width that he was a nice buck.
Something in the brush that's scaring the deer though, because all of them are starting to scatter and they're looking into the brush. I don't know what's in there. It's a bobcat or a coyote or what. Oh yeah. Oh look, that's Javelina.
Oh, it's huge.
Oh, it's ugly.
Big.
I think there was some sandhill cranes that came in too. They were flying over and we were observing them, and they decided they were going to land right by the big buck that we saw. And when they did, the buck took off in the brush. It was kind of neat experience.
Are you having fun, Kelby?
Yes, sir.
There you go, like that.
You can't even see him anymore. He's like gone.
He's still right there. He's just turned in the brush where you can't see him. But he's on the road.
He played hard to get. He stood behind a brush for a long time, and Kelby had to be patient.
There you go.
She waited for the right opportunity, and when the opportunity arose, she put a good shot right behind the ear, just like she was instructed.
You nailed him.
Really?
You nailed him. That was a great shot. I mean, you put it right on. Where did you aim?
I aimed like right there, and like I was moving, and then like I got it right there, and I was like,
You squeezed it off, huh?
She'd never seen a javelina live or in the wild, and she thought it was kind of gross looking. She backed away and she didn't want to touch it because it is an ugly animal. You know, the long hair and the tusk, and she didn't really want to have a lot to do with it at first. But as she warmed up and she got a little bit closer to it, we got some nice pictures.
Now let's head to the blind and join Gus Fernandez and his 10-year-old daughter, Bree.
I have a great time hunting with my daughter. We get to bond, we get to talk about a lot of things, the things she wants to do. Obviously kids at this age want to do everything and want to hunt for the rest of their lives. And so we just have a great time from a bonding and building our friendship and learning the outdoors and the discipline that you have to have and doing the right thing. We got to the blind about 3:30 in that time period, so we're just kind of setting up and getting ready, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a herd of pigs come out. Then the pigs just ran off all the deer, so the pigs were getting closer and closer and closer. So she was saying, "Dad, that's the one I want to shoot. I want to shoot that black pig." She said, "All right, that's fine. Let's wait for the right opportunity." I believe she got piggy fever because she was so excited. When she was aiming at a pig, about 100 yards away, this buck just out of nowhere And she goes, Dad, I can't shoot. I go, no, why not? And she saw a buck. And boy, good thing she did, because that was right in the line of fire. So doing the right thing, she did it. And as much piggy fear as she had, she was actually very conscious of what her line of shot was. So I was very impressed for her and you see that growing maturity in a hunter too.
On this hunt, me and my dad spent quite a few hours in a blind hunting, and we actually got to bond more than we usually do, and I think that it's going to help our relationship a lot.
Today, my father will be taking my son to a blind to hunt, while I'll get the chance to hunt with my daughter, Maddie.
Daddy, there's some javelinas right behind us.
There's a bunch of deer down there too. You see them? The problem is that buck is right behind them, honey.
I know. The buck won't move.
Let's just stay with it. I'll get your gun up for you, okay? What I want you to do not put your finger on the trigger, okay?
Is it on safety?
I want you to just look and see if you can find it in the scope.
Okay. Is it on safety?
Yes, it's on safety.
I can't say anything because a buck's in the way.
That's a good call, though. I'm proud of you. It's a really good decision.
You know, I couldn't get the gun on the javelinas, so they all ran off. So I'm gonna have a little snack.
Fortunately, Colton was having better luck with his granddaddy.
Which one? They're getting close.
Okay, you pick the one you want.
Okay, the closest one.
Hit it in the ear.
Which one?
The one on the right in the front.
Okay. Tell me when.
Take him.
That's wrap. That's wrap. That's wrap.
But taking that nice hog wasn't the end of Colton's day, as this group of javelinas soon appeared.
Turn sideways, I'd shoot him.
Now he's on the brush again.
Now. Good shot.
For Colton and the other participants, this had been a successful and rewarding hunt.
I love doing these programs. I end up getting involved with the kids because they have such enthusiasm and excitement to them. It's such a wonderful feeling. Sometimes I'm not sure I can quite put it into words. Of when it's over, you feel exhausted, but you feel like you really have accomplished something. And if you've changed a life and they turn around and impact somebody else's life and share the message about what a wonderful activity it can be, then I think there is hope for our future.